Alright guys, what's up? We've got a whole load of magical rock from the Cascades here. I got this for the competition coming up with Dustin's Fishtanks sponsoring it. Let me show you what's magical about it. So, turn on the hose, and it goes from boring to banded green, and that's what it'll look like under water in the tanks, obviously, as well as some fossilized and calcified rock. It won't matter that it may not be the healthiest in a fish tank long term because it's just a one-day build. Let me turn that hose off. But needless to say, I'm meeting up with Dustin in a few hours, and I am excited. This is some of the rock that the Aquascape contest folks and myself will be using. Pretty cool rock. I really like the banding on this one here. Got that really intense green, so it's a really beautiful rock to use, and I'm excited about it. So you'll see more of that in the days to come, and also if I edit things together, you shall see the range of this stuff too. So also, if you have any interest in this stuff, I can put together kits essentially of what I'm using for aquascaping. I have like a sandbox creation lab kind of thing, whatever you want to call it, a dojo center to just play around at home with some of the cool rocks that are in here. And I can put together packages of kind of pre-assembled aquascapes. You can always rearrange that, but I can put together something that fits in like a flat rate box and ship that out if anybody's interested after this contest, because I don't know what I'll do with all this rock that I acquired. So, all right, guys. Well, I will meet you upstairs in just a moment, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the planning I'm doing for this event. So I'll talk to you in one sec. Alright guys, back upstairs. So now I wanted to point out kind of my little kit that I'm putting together. It may look less than ideal right now, but it is the frame of the Aquascape. As you can see, I've taken masking tape and or painter's tape, whatever. Whatever comes off easily doesn't leave residue. And then I'm going to start labeling apex, secondary height, and in the iwagumi style you want apex, secondary height, third height that's just under the secondary height, with the apex being very clear what's the tallest stone. And then your fourth level is you want it to be tied, so or close to tied, so like these two stones, and then below that is all plateau. So, and then you can have your feature if you want to add one, but usually rocks are the feature. We don't have long tanks, so the iwagumi style is going to have to be fused a little bit with the natural style. I am going to be putting like Monte Carlo or something up in here so that it looks like a bonsai tree, and then we'll be putting Anubis up in here, and maybe some Mayaka and some Kabamba and a little bit of grass and stuff in the foreground, and it's all going to be in a tank that is yay tall, and you know, you get the picture. So it's a cube, 12 by 12 cube. So what I was saying downstairs is I have all this rock, and it's the same rock I was showing you downstairs. Here's that banded piece. It's drying off now, so it doesn't look that special right now, but when it's wet, it's pretty remarkable looking. So I'm going to kind of hide some of this root ball for the contest tomorrow, and I leave myself space in between here to tuck, but also because I don't necessarily have substrate and time for roots to grow and carpet and things like that, I left myself, there's extra rock here. It's always better to start with more and then take away, and you can always simplify. I mean, down to like one rock in your scape if you want. But I kind of want this craggy mountain peak in kind of almost surreal fashion. Like, I don't know if you'd get this jagged of peaks anywhere, but kind of this lone tree on a hill feel. And so I want to keep it fairly sparsely planted down here and get some contrasting white sand. But what I did here is I measured out a square foot and then I filled it with fluorite sand, and that's my dojo box, as they call it, to play with these rocks. And then I just have piles of rocks next to me, and I've just kind of play with it. And then what I've done is I've gone ahead with the tape, and I've taped off what's facing forward to me, the way I'll orient the main way. But now I've looked at it, and you need it to have certain symmetry and the rule of thirds, or the golden ratio, whatever you want to call it, or whatever template you're working off of. There's some Japanese asymmetrical templates too you can use, but you want it to have those elements, and from multiple angles, especially if people will be viewing it as such. So what I've done is I've put tape from the main straight on flat view just to help me orient it. I'm going to try to bring this thing, but you know, cars driving 45 minutes, bump around and stuff. Then over here, I've just got my little guppy breeder pens or whatever, some extra ones. And I've kind of got my tools set aside in here. I'll probably wrap them up a little better, but I'm going to be bringing a couple fish, a couple inverts, all the plants, some tools, but I hope to not have to do too much trimming, more so tucking and just setting plants in. Probably not too much tying off of stuff either, maybe up to the tree. And then basically waiting for it to clear. I've also got like a coarse horsehair, as they call it, but this is acrylic fiber paintbrush that is just good for moving around the substrate, because this, even though you can't really see right now, you always want your scene to slope upwards. It's just kind of a theatrical stadium style that we have come to with perspective. It's our eye is trained in the Western world and the Eastern world for that. You know, I've also got stuff like fishing line and floss and moss, gel super glue, as well as just normal crazy glue or super glue. And all of this will be coming with me. And then hopefully I can kind of plop and drop. I've kind of got my guide here of what I'm going to be doing. This was a crazy plan that I want to do in the future in a square tank, of doing a spiral that's totally not natural. But here are some sketches roughly. I know that looks really rough to people looking, but that kind of helps me what's going on. And then I'll go in with a pencil tonight when I see what plants I'm able to get a hold of out of my tanks, and then also out of we're going shopping. Dustin and I are going shopping at Aquarium Zen in Seattle later. So then we will have carpeting plants, foreground, midground, background, and maybe some unique highlights. So like this would be considered a unique highlight feature. I might do one more little tree or some stems, maybe a couple more branches from the spider wood. I haven't quite decided on all that yet, but I'm definitely going to hide this mass of wood so that the tree looks a little more delicate. And same with back in here. And then you want to give negative space. This layout really doesn't have that much negative space, although this direction it does. You've got at least 40% of the tank. So let's see, up in here, it will all be negative space, but this is a real full tank, and that's not really a traditional Japanese style either. So that's more in the Dutch fashion where you fill a tank, but I'm not going to be doing plants like that. So that's just kind of the update on where we're at with this. I also have a plant order from the folks at H2O Plants. Justin, awesome dude, works there. Been really patient with me, and he's sending out some stuff for this contest. It should be arriving as of a couple hours ago. Looks like it's out on the truck for delivery. Super quick delivery, awesome guy, so thank you for that. Also, I'm gonna mention that Dustin and I will probably be getting some other plants here because he wasn't able to transport a ton of plants on the plane, plus he had plane troubles on his way out here. But I'm excited to go tour some stores and some fish rooms and stuff today, and I'll get back to you guys with those videos when I have them, and possibly maybe some longer ones later on when they're edited. So if this helps you out, I'm glad. If it helps you move your fish tank, like maybe you had it set up really great and you don't want to move anything massively, like in your moving houses or something, then this is a nice way to just kind of label things for yourself, so that it might not be exactly the same when you reassemble it. But even these understones, I've got like the top point, the highest points have tape on them, and then also the forward points. And so I'll probably write an F for forward on the forward points, and then you know, an A or apex for the high points, something along those lines. So this rock may be coming out. It's just too big and unwieldy, even though it has a really beautiful pattern. But a lot of this will be played with when we get here. I hope this will maybe come in use for you guys if anybody's doing aquascaping. Everyone has a little bit of a different way. This is kind of my little cheat way to have things ready to go, plop and drop, and then focus on the plants and the fiddling that will undoubtedly ensue. So I hope you guys, maybe some of these little tips helped, and if you are interested in extra stone, drop me a message, because I'll probably be making that available. Haven't figured out pricing or whatever. It depends on how much is left and what quality the stuff is left. It could just be shipping price and, you know, a couple bucks or something, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know when that's all sorted, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care of your fish, take care of your scapes, take care of each other, and swim on. I'll talk to you later. Bye.